Hey everybody, what's up? This is Nikki with Messages from Light, and it's been a few weeks since I've been on. We posted our getting back to work video and then suddenly had computer malfunctions, website malfunctions, everything went south. So we kind of had to reboot and revamp a little bit, but we are back up and back online and everything's reset. Hopefully you guys like the new intro and outro. Um, I really want to come to you guys today and talk a little bit about repeating your cycles because we talked earlier in the year about breaking your cycles. And that's all great, but the problem is a lot of us are repeating cycles that we've already been through before. And now we're hitting those cycles again, or we're hitting the end of those cycles again. And we're looking at it going, well, what am I doing back here? Why am I experiencing this again? Why am I going through this again? And the simple fact of the matter is, you didn't learn everything that you needed to learn the last time you went through this cycle. So now you're coming back to it again. And believe me, this is on a wide scale right now. A lot of people are going through this. I myself am experiencing this. So we're going to talk a little bit today about when we recognize these repeating cycles and what we can do to try to ensure that this is the last time that we go through them. I have personally been repeating cycles here lately, and one of those cycles that I've been repeating is allowing myself to kind of be used, is the best way that I can describe it, and not really standing up for what I know I'm worth, and not really holding to my own personal value. And I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about that in a later video, but it is one of my repeating cycles, and it's one of those things that I have a tendency to continually do. And it's something that I work on and I strive to clear all the time. So for me personally, when I recognize that cycle going on, I really have to pull back and check myself and see what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and why I don't feel that I myself am valuable enough to put the time or the effort into. Um, I have a very bad tendency of doing that, and a lot of that stems from my childhood. But I continually strive to work through that. And when we see ourselves repeating these cycles, that's what we have to do. We have to remember the lessons that we've learned in our previous times through this cycle. And then we have to try to build upon that. And we have to say, okay, I learned this, but now what am I trying to figure out? And before, I had seen the cycle and I had recognized a lot of things in it, but what I didn't recognize was how I was devaluing myself. And now that I've recognized that, it's kind of shifted the way that I'm looking at things. And that's what we have to do. We have to look at these repeating cycles and we have to say, okay, am I not valuing myself? Am I getting in this situation because of fear, because of anxiety, because I don't want to be alone, because I don't want to be without a specific thing or a specific habit? We have to look at how we're getting ourselves back into the same situations. And then we have to start changing the way that we're thinking as well as the way that we're behaving, because we have to change what we're doing. If we aren't changing what we're doing, then that cycle is just going to keep cycling back through. That's what it does. It's just going to keep like a revolving door. You're just going to keep spinning around in it. And we don't want that to happen. We want to end these cycles so that then we can move on to bigger lessons and greater lessons, and we can do some growing. When we talk about repeating our cycles, this can be anything. This can be a cycle of being in financial destitution. This can be a cycle of allowing people to mistreat you. This can be a cycle of bad relationships. It can be any kind of a cycle. It's a cycle that repeats itself in your life. It has a negative experience side to it, or a negative outcome. It leaves you feeling bad about yourself or looking at your life and the things in your life in a negative way. These are these negative experiences that we keep seeing cycle. And a lot of us right now are recognizing these cycles. And what we need to do when we recognize these cycles is we need to stop We need to look at these cycles deeper. And we need to decide, is this a cycle that I'm experiencing because I'm not learning enough? Or is this a cycle that I'm experiencing because I'm not loving enough? And those are two very different things. And I want to kind of talk about that a little bit today, because you can be constantly learning and you can be constantly growing on a spiritual level. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're loving on a spiritual level, especially yourself. And what I found with a lot of my cycles personally is that when I break them down to a baseline, it all comes back to whether or not I'm loving myself enough. If I am not loving myself enough, I repeat these cycles. If I am loving myself and I am valuing myself enough, then I'm not repeating these cycles. So what I want you to do is, if you see these cycles that are going on in your life and they're continually popping up, I want you to sit down and write down what your repeating cycles are. And I know this sounds silly, but I promise it helps. If you will sit down and write a list of what your repeating cycles are, and then after you've written this list of what your repeating cycles are, I want you to make another list of the things that you learn from this cycle and the things that repeatedly happen within this cycle. Because if you can mark the key things that happen within these cycles, then you can really see, is it you're not learning, or is it that you're not loving? And if it's that you're not learning, then you need to look deeper at what you are taking from these experiences, and you need to dig deeper. If it's that you're not loving enough, then you need to change that aspect of yourself. That's an internal process. And a lot of us forget that. The biggest obstacle that you will ever have to your spiritual growth and to reaching your full potential is loving yourself. And I need everyone to understand that, because we're going to do an entire video again on that subject, because it's something that I think we all need to be reminded of from time to time. Loving yourself and loving those around you, loving their faults, because that's another trap that we can fall into, is we can love people and yet still continually find fault and be angry over those faults, instead of understanding that we all have them. We all have faults. We all have shortcomings. Everybody is going to fall short and disappoint occasionally. That being said, when we love someone, and we love someone fully, and we love them in spite of their shortcomings, then they can never truly fall short in our eyes. So what we're looking at in these repeating cycles, again, make your lists, and then I want you to figure out, are you not loving enough, or are you not learning deep enough? If it's a repeating negative relationship, I assure you, you are not loving yourself enough. If you are continually repeating this cycle with relationships, of one bad relationship after another, and one negative experience after another in relationships or dating, then I promise you, you are not loving yourself enough. You are not attracting people who are going to love you at the same level of love that you're willing to give. And that typically happens when we are not loving ourselves. Self-love is huge, guys. It's a huge thing. It's something we all need to be doing and we all need to be focusing on. And we forget that a lot of the time. It's one of those minor steps. But if you overlook it or you forget about it, it will throw your entire world off. Let's get back to our basics again. Let's stop. Let's analyze. Let's look at things. Let's try to see our bigger picture. Find these repeating cycles in your life and find the keys to turn them off. I am doing an entire class series right now about breaking your cycles and about healing repeated cycles. And you can email me about that. You can go to the website, which has actually changed, you guys. You will have all of this information However, there should be a link appearing somewhere about now, and it will say that we have changed the website, and it will give you the new website name. The new website is messagesfromlight.com. So we wanted to kind of streamline everything for you guys. You can go there, you can message me, you can let me know how the videos are doing for you, you can let me know what your experience in your life, what you would like to hear more about. You can also schedule energy healing and psychic readings there, as well as you can find contact information there for me if you are interested in classes or life coaching, because those are both things that I'm also doing. However, they're not available on the website yet. We are still working on the scheduler for those. Let's see, what else do I need to let you guys know today? I'm really excited to be back. I'm really happy that we're back to doing videos on a regular basis. That's our goal, is every day, every other day. I already have several topics lined up for you guys. I'm sorry. I'm excited and talking fast, so I'm kind of messing up a little bit, ain't I? I'm really excited about the topics that are coming up over the next few days. They're really talking a lot right now and being very vocal in what they want and what they want to do. I can't wait to share some of what's going on with you guys and some of what they're telling me with you guys. I'm really excited to be back. I love the new backdrop and the new look of the set, and I am looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say, what you guys would like to hear me talk about. Please make sure you check out the website again. That's www.messagesfromlight.com. And if you have any questions, any comments, I love to hear from you guys. Make sure you hit subscribe so you see when we put out new messages. If there's something you would like for me to talk about, make sure you leave me a comment, drop me an email, anything. You can find us on Facebook at Messages from Light. Until next time, I love you guys. Keep growing your inner light. Bye.